So welcome everybody. We are here doing a virtual open house for 46 Sherwood Rise in the Sherwood neighborhood of Hamilton Mountain. This is right near the mountain brow. So for those of you who are not familiar, we are going to do a portion of our presentation today will be to do with the neighborhood. So we'll go over that with you. Let's just get into the presentation here right now, and we're just going to go in here and we're going to go to full screen mode. So it looks a little bit nicer for you. Okay, so this is our home. As you can see, it has wonderful curb appeal. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with virtual open houses, this is really an introduction to the home. It used to be the process was you saw a lot of homes, and then through process of elimination while you were seeing them, you decided on the home to buy. Now with the change in the physical distancing, COVID-19, the industry is very quickly changing. And we're at the forefront of virtual real estate business. And what that means is that the vetting will be done virtually. And only once a home meets your criteria will you actually physically be going in. So this is the preliminary stage where it's just like, I want to say a teaser really, but ultimately it's just to show you a little bit about the inside of a home from a realtor's perspective, because of course this is what we do all day, every day. I look at dozens of these virtual tours. So I'm accustomed to picking up on things that you might not be able to. Now that being said, unless I know a client, unless I've done a buyer consultation, which is the most critical part of the process, I cannot interpret the rooms, the home, the neighborhood to tell you whether it meets your needs or not. So it's just for 30 minutes of your time. We are quickly able to assess the appropriateness of the most beautiful house. It could be the most beautiful house on earth, but if it doesn't suit your needs, it's not the house for you. Anyway, so that's just a little quick. So welcome. We're going to have an agenda. First, we're going to interpret the listing. Again, in keeping with what I've just explained, we're looking at the highlights here. We're not going really, really deep on all of these items. So we're going to interpret the listing. We're going to take a look at the highlights of the 360 tour. Then we're going to cover market statistics. Now, it's not about the numbers, but it's about what the numbers mean to you, how that relates to your real estate goals. Then, as I said, we're going to talk a little bit about the neighborhood, and finally, we're going to end up with the Geo Warehouse Report. We're just going to show you the availability of demographic information, and we're going to finish off with the questions and answer. So first, let's go to interpreting the listing. So again, 46 Sherwood Rise in Hamilton. This is listed at $629,000, and it's been on the market for a total of 12 days. We're looking at 3 bedrooms. We're looking at a total of 1,117 square feet. So typical of the homes in this neighborhood, other than the big mansions that are on the brow, these are not huge homes. Okay, these are warm, cozy homes with very big lots, very typical of the time of this build. We're looking at $3,806 for property taxes in 2019. But a key factor that makes this home unique is it has an attached garage. And when we look at the 360 tour and we pan through the neighborhood, you'll see exactly what I mean. With a very large lot of 53 by 109. But again, we'll go into more details. So next, let's take a look at the 360 tour. So in order to do that, we just have to flip over here. And we're going to go to this link right here. So this is the 360 tour. Let's start off by, like I said, let's just pan across the street. And as you can see, a totally clear skyline, absolutely clear skyline. But if you look at the houses that are around you, no attached garages. There's an attached carport, very different to a garage. And a garage runs somewhere in the $25,000 range, depending on, certain aspects. People who want garages, though, it can be a real deal breaker. So in this neighborhood, this garage is a unique and very valuable feature. Okay, so as you can see, very nice curb appeal, and we're going to head into the house, into the foyer. There are different ways of going through these virtual open houses, you can click on the little arrows, or alternatively, you can go by the picture. The key here is not to swivel around too fast, otherwise you do kind of get motion sickness. So when you come in, you can see a really nice tile on the floor, beautiful warm hardwood in the living room. So we're going to go over here and we're going to switch to the living room right away, because this is going to give us the best view of the main floor. So this is the front far corner of the living room. And you can see here, you've got your dining room, you've got your kitchen. They've created a pass through here into the kitchen, and just in order to give it a slightly more open space, because when we go in, you'll see the kitchen is not very big. And a lovely big window for natural light. So as you can see, all very meticulously maintained, looks to be very well taken care of. So the dining room over here, we're going to flip over to the kitchen though, because that's where we really want to see some finishes. And I'm just going to use the picture this time. So if we take a look here, as I said, beautifully decorated kitchen, really nice, updated cabinetry, gorgeous backsplash. Really love that glass backsplash, updated window. But as I mentioned, we're not looking at a huge kitchen. So, you know, if you are a chef, perhaps this is not the kitchen for you. But if you're a family who is looking for a good starter home and you need a garage for either, you know, car work or other things that you're doing, and the kitchen is not the main part, this is fine. But what I do want to note though is what they've done with the space. They have capitalized on this space. They have a little breakfast bar here with more storage underneath. They have storage beside the fridge. They have used every square inch of this kitchen to the best of their ability, really have. And they've chosen their colors extremely well to lighten up the room and give it a sense of spaciousness. The other thing to note is, unlike a lot of other houses, this house has the stairs off the kitchen at the back. We'll come back to that in a moment. But right now, we are going to go over here into the hallway, where we can look up to the main floor. So as you can see along here, go further into the hallway, we have the bathroom, we have the main bathroom. You can see it's all been updated. Again, beautiful tile, really nice tile. I actually really like that tile. Lovely white on white kitchen, white on white bathroom. Okay, and if we go up here, we have our master bedroom. So a beautiful master bedroom, okay? Very nicely decorated in neutrals, again with a nice hardwood floor, nice big window, and closet space. Okay. And we're just going to take a look at the master bedroom at this point. We're not going to look at the other bedrooms. They're vague. I mean, actually, here we go. We'll go into one of them over here, okay? So as you can see, it's empty at the moment, but just a simple bedroom, nice hardwood floor. Again, this home does not have carpet, which is great. I'm gonna go over here, and then we have this bedroom over here as well. Okay, so lots of bedroom space. Now let's go down to the back entrance. Again, this is off the kitchen. This is where we're going to head into the basement. So you can see here, it's almost like a foyer, and they have a nice sliding door. I always look at a house in a slightly different way, in that I want to see if it can be changed or is being its best use. Having worked with a lot of investors, I look at different aspects. So I'm looking at this going, wow, that could be a separate entrance for a basement apartment. Section 19 of the city code talks about legally duplexing. If you'd like more information, please reach out. I will be happy to share that with you. But for right now, just know that that's a great feature for either an in-law suite or a separate entrance to a basement apartment. So the basement apartment over here is the furnace and storage room. I'm not going to go too much into that. You've got the laundry room over here. But we do have over here is the family room. Now, this basement is clean and tidy. It's quite spacious. However, it's not really updated. It's really just square rooms. So if you chose to, you could make something of this basement that suits your needs. Personally, I hear a lot of people right now, including myself, it's all about home offices, home offices, home offices, because the anticipation that we're actually going to be doing work from home going forward is pretty likely for a lot of people, and so they're looking for solutions. Also down here, just so you know, there is another bathroom. It's just a powder room, but that could be expanded depending on the work that you decide to do down here, but in order to allow for an in-law suite. And just because it is such a unique feature, let's just head into the garage very quickly and take a look in here. So as you can see, single car garage, door into the house, which is fantastic. You've got central vac hooked up in there and a remote car opener. So lots of things you could do with this garage space if not for storing your car. And last but not least, I do want to go and take a look at the backyard. Let's finish off with the backyard. So as you can see, a very simple backyard. They've got a wood deck off the sliding door. There's not a lot of concrete space. So if you are somebody who spends a lot of time in your backyard, that might be something that you want to do something with. But meanwhile, you can see here a very private, large backyard. I believe the lot, if I remember correctly, is 103 feet deep with a shed in the back. So definitely something that a really great palette for you to work with if you are a gardener. And if you're not, then you already have a yard that's very low maintenance. Okay, so that's the 360 tour, the highlights of the 360 tour. And I think the key to that is, again, to talk about the fact that, you know, is this a huge house? No, because the houses of that time were not huge. But is it an efficient use of space? And absolutely it is. The updates are nice and open and airy. So this is definitely something a first-time home buyer or somebody who's moving from maybe a condo or a townhome and wants to move to the detached area can get into. That being said, let's take a look at the market stats, because this will talk to you about the value that's there. So in the last 90 days, we've seen 5 homes sell in this area, ranging in price from $524 to $716. And I like to break this down to cost per square foot, but there's going to be a caveat to that, obviously. So the cost per square foot is $344 to $662. Now we are at this home as listed is $563 per square foot. But I want you to remember, and this is important to remember, there are a lot of homes in this area that are older, original owners even, that have not been updated. So this has to include the fact that there's an attached garage, which, as I mentioned before, is a huge bonus. There's also all the updates. The kitchen is updated. The bathroom is updated. The basement, although it's not updated, it is finished. So you're not working straight with straight walls. And you do have a very, very big lot on a very nice street. So, you know, we need to keep that in mind when we're taking a look at the square foot. It's not badly priced. I think there might be some wiggle room there though, but definitely in keeping with the range. And then we're going to look at the active listings. So in this neighborhood, currently there are only 2 active listings. One of them's at $575 and there's this one at $629. So if you are looking to get into this area, and this is this neighborhood is a draw for a lot of buyers, not a lot of choice out there, folks. So remember, we're dealing with the laws of supply and demand. So next we're going to talk about the neighborhood. So this is on the eastern part of Hamilton Mountain, right near the mountain brow. It's referred to as Sherwood. The street's Sherwood Rise, big surprise. So in order to do that, we're just going to flip over here to a Google map. So first and foremost, where is the house? Well, the house is right here, Sherwood Rise. Now, when I'm looking at a street, what I always look at is this a through street? Am I going to have a lot of traffic? So most of the traffic is going to come off of Upper Ottawa. It's going to go down either Brucedale or Edgewood. The only people who are going to be driving on Sherwood Rise are the people who live on Sherwood Rise. Okay, So here we are, though. We are walking distance to Sherwood Secondary School, the local high school. It's a great little school. And the other things that we have in the area that I do want to highlight is obviously we're very close to recreation facilities with Huntington Parks and Recreation Center just over here. Remember, the house is right here, okay? And the rec center is right here. So very, very close. As well as the Hamilton Public Library is very close. So this is the Sherwood branch of the Hamilton Public Library. Obviously, these things are closed at the moment, but when they're available again, the proximity is definitely a huge bonus. The other thing, I've got the high schools in here, things like that. Lime Ridge Mall, which is the main shopping mall on Hamilton Mountain, is over here. So it's just a quick drive, or alternatively a bus ride. If you have teenagers, there's access to a lot of employment for them around there. The important part to note here, though, is this right here is the mountain brow. So this is quite an affluent area of the city. It's right at the edge of the escarpment overlooking the city. So the views are spectacular, just beautiful. And you will find along the Mountain Brow Road a lot of very expensive homes. But you do also have a lot of parks, and you have things like the Mountain Brow Margate Stairs. So these are stairs that go from the top of the mountain down the mountain to the escarpment rail trail, which goes all the way from Brantford. So if you are a hiking enthusiast, this is really a big deal. And you are very, very close to it. So you're just walking about 3 or 4 blocks, going down the stairs, and you're right there on the rail trail. And you can see over here a little picture of that. But you also have parks and other outdoor facilities in the area, including Highview Park, just on the other side of Upper Ottawa. So that'll give you a general idea about some of the amenities that are in the neighborhood. It really is a beautiful spot on the city. And as you will note, you get beautiful views overlooking the mountain. The next thing we're going to take a look at is the Geo Warehouse Report. Now, the Geo Warehouse Report covers some demographics. And again, we're just going to highlight on a couple of things. Because really I can't speak to every aspect on a virtual open house, or we'll be here a very long time. It's really a matter of checking the boxes for your needs. So we're going to just go, first of all, here's the lot. As you can see, a really nice big lot. And if you look at the house, it's quite a bit bigger than a lot of other houses in the neighborhood. You might want to make friends with the people back here that have a pool. But a key here is taking a look at age ranges. And this really goes to, if you're a young family, do you want to move into a neighborhood where everybody is close to retirement? You want to know you have kids for your kids to play with. And alternatively, I've had some people who are looking for a retirement home and they're like, please, I don't want to be surrounded by screaming kids. Again, it really goes to you. But in this case, 18% on both from ages 30 to 44 and 55 to 64. So you're seeing an emphasis of turnover of people who've been there for a very, very long time are leaving and young families are moving in. So this is definitely a part of the city that is in transition. And also what you want to note is a very large majority of the homes are single detached. Now within the neighborhood, it's almost it is entirely single detached. But in the grander community, which is the East Mountain, you are going to see some apartment buildings. Okay. Last but not least, we're just going to skip over here to the market turnover rate. And this is very important. So in this neighborhood, and I'm not wearing my glasses, so I can't see it as I squint. I think that's 5.4 or 6.4. Either way, it's 6.4. There we go. We're seeing 6.4% of homes in this neighborhood transferring ownership from one hand to another. Now, this is a relative thing. Okay, what it does mean though, you see here you can see 6.3, here you can see 3.7. What it does mean is we are seeing opportunities come up in this neighborhood a little more frequently than we would be seeing in a neighborhood that's 3.7. I will caution you though, if you're looking for a home that's turnkey ready, as I said, this is a neighborhood that has a lot of people who've been here a long time and they have not possibly updated the homes. So if you do find a house that has the correct finishes for you, I would seriously consider putting in an offer simply because this brow area, the amenities in this neighborhood do attract a lot of people. The last thing I want to talk about is the price trends. So as you can see, there was a little bit of decline 2018 and 2019. That had started to turn around as of January of 2020. What it was I'll talk in more detail in a one-on-one, but it had to do with the mortgage stress test. We saw some softening in prices, $600,000 and up, which is primarily what the neighborhood has. However, starting in about January 2020, if we look at the 90-day trends, there was a resurgence in prices for that period of time leading up to COVID. Now, what does that mean longer term for you? It means that, well, I don't have a crystal ball, but I would say probably that those buyers that had not gotten in and are still looking to upgrade when this situation relaxes, those buyers will come out in droves because they have been holding off. So it is a very good opportunity for people who are looking to get into the market right now, who have to buy, to seriously take a look at what is available and perhaps avoid a real surge after the fact. However, like I said, I don't have a crystal ball. It really is going to come down to unemployment and what the unemployment looks like coming out of this. Okay, so that's it for that. We're just going to scoot back up to page 1 and just make sure we've covered everything that we said we were going to cover. So interpreting the listing, we've talked about that. 360 tour highlights, we've talked about that. What the market stats mean to you, we've covered. Could this be your neighborhood in the Geo Warehouse? So if anybody has any questions, I will be available after this for about an hour. Please feel free to call me. I will be putting that information, if I just go to my Facebook Live. If I go to my Facebook, oh, I can't go to my Facebook Live. Here we go. I'm just going to put something in the comments here. You can call me at 905-510-0152, or you can book an appointment at my link tree. Whoopsie. I put in far more in there than I needed to. There we go. Link tree right there. Okay, and that will be it for today. I really appreciate you coming by. As I said, this is going to be the future of real estate. So this is a matter of vetting ahead of your purchase, as opposed to going to see the listings and then vetting. You're doing the same thing, you're just doing it in a different order and using different means. And I would be glad to explain that to you at a later date. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Please go to the link provided and you can book an appointment. You can see some of our other events and virtual open houses that we have coming up, as well as a lot of online resources to help you thrive and survive in this new market space. Thanks again. I really appreciate it and have a very good day. Goodbye.